Vice President Kamala Harris met with Benjamin Netanyahu, and afterwards she talked about the Israel-Hamas war not being binary. I'm interested in your thoughts on that. And she said she wasn't going to stay silent about wanting an end to the war, wanting a ceasefire. How do you think the Biden administration and a possible Kamala Harris administration will mean for the Middle East long term? There seems to be a fair bit of chaos within the Biden administration, but think ahead, if we do have Kamala as the leader of the free world, what does that mean for Israel?
Well, I think it'll be a disaster if it happens for Israel, but also for the rest of the world. We've seen the consequences of the Biden approach. We've seen it in Ukraine. We've seen it in the Middle East. We've seen it elsewhere. The results of what is effectively a weak administration seeking to appease its enemies. And I think we would see a continuation of that kind of approach by Kamala Harris if she does take over. So it's going to be devastating. And we shouldn't forget, of course, in any of these discussions that it's not just Iran that's behind what's going on in the Middle East. Standing behind Iran is Russia and China. And particularly China is looking to see how the US responds to what's going on here. And I think they've been encouraged by what they've seen. And so I think there's every likelihood that if Kamala takes over and continues this indecisive, weak approach to foreign policy, it's going to just encourage and provoke China to who knows what. We know what their potential plans are with Taiwan and elsewhere in the region.
Richard, you just got 30 seconds left. You mentioned Iran being the laughingstock. Just tell us very quickly your thoughts on the assassination of that character and by Iranian assets, we now learn, Ismail Haniyeh, the leader of Hamas.
I think it shows the weakness of Iran that this was able to happen with, presumably, I don't know, but presumably a Mossad operation, as you say, maybe using Iranian assets. Of course, it shows weakness of Iran around the region, but most critically, I think, it shows the weakness of the Iranian regime to the Iranian people, many of whom are dissatisfied with Iran. And this kind of embarrassment can only lead to potentially greater instability and possibly the downfall of the regime in the fullness of time.